The movie starts and we see a farmer sitting near his fields late at night, relaxing after a long and tiring day. But then, right at that moment, some very strange and unusual sounds begin coming from somewhere close to him. When he looks around to check, he realizes that his own dog is nowhere near him. He walks a little further ahead to find out what is going on, and that is when he sees it. Something strange is eating his dog. He is now extremely terrified because he has never seen an animal this big in his entire life. To scare the animal away, he starts shouting as loud as he can. But instead of running away, the animal gets angry. It kicks out hard and smashes every single fence standing in that area, breaking it all down in one go. One of those broken fence pieces suddenly gets tangled around the man's leg, wrapping tight and causing him a tremendous amount of pain. With great difficulty, he manages to free himself from the fence and slowly tries to move forward. But before he can escape from that place, he hears a deep and terrifying growling sound coming from right behind him. When he turns around in fear to look, he sees that same horrifying animal staring straight at him, its mouth completely soaked in blood. The man is absolutely terrified now. The animal grabs him and drags him deep into the dark and dense jungle and kills him there. His screams are the kind that make your skin crawl and your hair stand on end. The scene then shifts, and we are shown a couple sitting inside a car who have come to this very jungle for a camping trip. When the boyfriend steps out of the camp for a moment to do something, his wife soon starts hearing his screams and cries from a distance. At first, she thinks her husband is just playing a prank on her and does not take it seriously. But with every passing second, his screams become louder and far more terrifying. And mixed in with her husband's screams and cries, she can also hear the sound of something growling very close by. When the terrified girl opens up her tent to look outside, her husband's torn and mangled body falls right into her lap. Seeing this, her mind goes completely blank. She is so shocked that she even throws up. She has no idea what happened to him, and she has no idea what she should do now. But before she can even think of any kind of plan to escape from there, that creature, that massive and terrifying animal, attacks her too with its blood-covered mouth and kills her as well. Two other men camping in the same jungle hear the woman's screams and the creature's growling from far away. These two had also come to this same jungle just for a camping trip. When they walk closer to check out the campsite, they spot something that stops them completely: a massive wild boar. A giant pig, unlike anything they have ever seen before. One of the men thinks he must be having hallucinations. He has never seen a pig this enormous in his life. He tells his friend that he thinks he has had way too many drinks tonight because he is seeing a giant wild boar standing right in front of him. Hearing this, his second friend grabs the sniper rifle from his hand, looks through it, and confirms to his friend that yes, there is indeed a giant wild boar standing right there. He takes aim and fires a shot at the pig, but his aim misses because his eyesight is weak. And the next time he looks through the scope, the pig has already run away from that spot. After the pig is gone, both men walk over to the tent, and when they get there, they see the couple's torn and mangled bodies lying on the ground. That giant pig had left them in this terrible condition, and both of them were now dead. Looking at the rest of the things at the campsite, a man named Ken figures out that there must have been 4 people staying here, and when the attack happened, the other 2 must have run away somewhere. He tells his friend Blue to go back to town and get help from someone. He says he will stay back and search for any other survivors in the area. As Blue starts walking back toward town, he begins hearing very strange and unsettling sounds coming from all around him. When he turns around in fear to look behind him, that giant pig is standing right there, staring at him with its hungry and dangerous eyes. Blue now knows very well that he is not going to make it out alive, so instead of running around in a panic, he just stands right there. And that pig attacks him instantly, tearing him apart in the most painful and brutal way possible and eating him. In this same jungle, we are then shown another couple, the same couple that Ken had guessed must still be somewhere in this area. We see that these two are sitting together, trying to entertain each other by telling scary stories. But then their stories suddenly turn into real life when they start hearing growling sounds coming from somewhere very close to them. The husband steps forward a little to check what it is, and at that moment he cannot see anything at all. But the second he turns back around, he sees that the same giant creature, that massive pig, has attacked his wife in the most painful and horrifying way. After attacking the woman, the pig jabs its huge tusk deep into her back and lifts her off the ground, holding her face down in the air. This entire scene is so deeply disturbing and terrifying that even the husband watching it is completely shaken. He can barely even stand properly, but still, he tries his best to run away from that place. However, his efforts go nowhere at all, because that pig suddenly lunges at him in one single move, attacks his face, and separates his head clean from his body. Both the husband and wife are killed in the most brutal way possible. Ken, who had been searching for this couple and had finally reached this spot, sees that both of them have also lost their lives. He feels deeply sorry, because he had really hoped that he would at least be able to save this one couple. But just as all of this is going through his mind, that same massive and crazy pig appears right in front of him too. Fresh blood is still dripping continuously from its mouth, the blood of all the people it had just killed. Before the pig can go even more crazy and end Ken's life too, Ken pulls out his big knife and holds it up. And right at that moment, the scene cuts, and we are moved forward to the next morning. We see a man driving his van toward this same jungle. Suddenly, the pig grabs the van with its teeth and flips it over, causing a very bad accident. The sound of the crash spreads far and wide. It turns out that this man's sister's family had come camping nearby, and when they hear the crash, they immediately know that it must be their family member's car. The man's name, it turns out, is Barney. His sister sends her husband and her son-in-law to go and check on Barney. When they find him, Barney does not seem too badly hurt, but his car is completely wrecked. He also notices some animal hair stuck on the back of his car, which makes it very clear that a very large animal had attacked and hit his vehicle. He wants to get out of the car, but the door is so badly jammed from the crash that it will not open. After kicking it hard several times, he finally manages to force it open. Barney is now very angry about all of this. He pulls out his weapon from inside the car and starts reloading it, because he wants to hunt down and kill the animal that hit his car. Now, the two men who had been coming to find Barney suddenly have the pig appear right in front of them. Instead of being afraid, both of them just stare at the pig in complete disbelief. Then one of the men notices that the wild boar, that massive and dangerous-looking pig, has bloodshot eyes full of rage. It means the animal can attack them at any moment without any warning. In fear, that man shoves his own father-in-law straight toward the pig and runs away from there. And that pig brutally grabs the man's head in its mouth and separates it completely from his body. Barney, who is coming from a distance, witnesses this entire thing with his own eyes. He has already seen this pig by now. He quickly takes aim at the pig and fires, and the bullet lands directly on the pig. Now, the man who had pushed his father-in-law toward the pig and run away is shouting from a distance to his fiancée and her mother, telling them to run, to get out of there, because there is danger. But nobody believes what he is saying. They start asking him about his father instead. He tells them that a giant wild boar attacked his father and killed him. But both women standing there start laughing because they think the man is just joking around. But the very next moment, their opinion changes completely, because the crazy pig comes charging and grabs that man in its mouth and runs off, and the man dies right inside the pig's jaws. This scene is so dangerous and shocking that everyone watching loses their minds completely. They are all left totally stunned. The girl is extremely distressed after seeing her fiancé die right in front of her eyes. Her mother is trying to pull her away from there and take her to safety, but she refuses to move. Right at the right moment, Barney arrives and takes all three of them away from that place. Time is very short now. To save all their lives, Barney comes up with an idea. He decides to cross the river and get to the other side of the fields, where the town is much closer. But he knows that even from that side, it will be nighttime before they can reach the town. These people just keep running and running to stay alive. Barney is thinking that the wild boar is probably afraid of water, but he has no idea just how dangerous and fearless that creature really is. In the darkness of the night, the boar finds them again. When they see it once more, everyone's heart completely sinks, and the boar attacks one of their group members with full force and eats him. That person is now dead, but the others manage to use that moment to escape. Barney's sister is completely broken from the loss of her family members, but Barney forcefully pulls her along as he tries to keep running. Then their luck shines a little, because they find a wooden shelter nearby. They all go inside and take a small moment to breathe. But after coming inside, Barney's sister and her daughter are both completely shattered, because by now on this trip they have lost 3 people very dear to them. When Barney goes close to his sister to comfort her, she turns around and blames him instead. She says all of this happened because of you. She says that even with that big strong body of yours, you could not save your own nephew. She calls him a coward. Anyway, this crying and blaming goes on for a little while. Then the exhaustion of the entire day forces them all to fall asleep. A little while later, they wake up again because the cold has become unbearable inside the shelter. Barney decides to go outside and collect some firewood so they can light a fire and bring the temperature back to normal. But the moment Barney opens the door, it seems like the boar had been waiting right there for exactly this moment. The boar suddenly smashes through the entire door and charges into the cabin. But this time, Barney is already full of rage toward this boar. He feels tremendous guilt because his nephew died while he was right there with him. He takes out all that anger on the boar now, and with great courage he pulls out his knife and stabs the boar in the neck several times. But this attack does not do much to the boar at all. At this point, Barney's sister and her daughter also come out from behind and stand behind Barney. Barney tells all of them to run away from there immediately. The moment they hear this, both women run out of there as fast as they can. And Barney attacks the boar once again. But this time, the boar gathers all of its strength back together, picks Barney up with its tusks and throws him far away. Because of this powerful attack, Barney's knife gets lost somewhere, and now he has no weapon left at all to fight the boar with. But Barney does not give up. He gets back up and throws a very powerful punch right at the boar. But then the boar picks him up again and throws him back inside the cabin. The pig climbs on top of him and is just about to kill him right there. But Barney somehow gathers every last bit of his strength and barely manages to crawl out from underneath the boar. He grabs everything inside that cabin and starts hitting the boar with it, trying with everything he has to free himself. His attacks do have a small effect on the boar, and the boar moves back out of the cabin. Now Barney wants to finish this crazy boar once and for all right here. So he picks up a heavy iron object lying nearby, and just as he moves forward to strike the boar with it, his foot slips at the worst possible moment, and he falls right underneath the pig. The crazed pig is not going to let this chance go. It places its foot on top of Barney and injures him in a very painful way. What exactly the pig does to Barney after that is not shown on screen. But the scene cuts, and we are shown that Barney's sister and her daughter are both terrified beyond words. They are suffering badly from hunger and the cold. They decide that they have no choice but to light a fire, because even if they survive the crazy monster pig, the cold alone will kill them. Somehow they manage to get a fire going. But very shortly after that, the monster pig appears right in front of them too, because the fire has attracted it toward them. They are shaking with fear and completely panicking. They have no idea what to do to survive against this monster. They try to scare the monster away using the small torches they are holding in their hands, but none of that has any effect on it at all. And then it grabs Barney's sister by the leg. Just before the boar can kill both of them right there, a very bright light from a distance blinds all of their eyes. The boar also turns to look at that light, and that light comes speeding in and hits the boar directly. It turns out that it is a car, which has driven straight into the boar to save these women's lives. The girl driving this car is named Sasha, and she is the daughter of the old man who was shown at the very beginning of this story. She had come here at this time specifically to look for her father. It turns out the boar is now struggling to even stand up, because the hit was so powerful that several bones in its body have broken. But it is still alive. Barney's sister, wanting to take revenge for the deaths of her family members, pulls a gun from Sasha's car and shoots the boar multiple times, emptying bullets into it. But even after all of that, the boar does not die. Then her daughter takes the gun from her hands, takes careful aim, and fires one single shot directly into the boar's eye. The moment that happens, the boar collapses to the ground. It stops moving. It seems like it is finally dead. These people cannot afford to take any more risks. They quickly get into Sasha's car and start trying to get out of that place as fast as possible. On the way out, they also spot Barney, whom everyone had assumed was already dead. But he is alive, just in a very badly injured condition. They pick him up and drive out of there, all of them believing that they have finally killed the boar and the danger is now over. But that was never going to be the case, because that boar is still alive, watching them as they drive away. And what is about to happen to them next? That mystery is what this entire story ends on. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss any of our videos. And drop a comment down below saying, next, if you want to see even more dangerous and mind-blowing movie explanations like this one. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.